Yo, collect and connect.
Blake and Chad.
And Blake.
Collect
And connect.
Blake and Chad's Collect and Connect.
This is Luke Chew. Dave Presley.
Blake and Chad's.
This is
Blake and Chad's.
This is
Collect and Connect.
Going into your artwork that you do?
The work I do has always been, in some degree, like very autobiographical to me. And I've gone through a lot of things. I'm a recovering addict. I was, messed up on, drugs for a significant chunk of my life and my career. I'm sober now. And I've been sober for about 11 years. And you could, if you look at my artwork, say from, 2010 on up, because I like to think people can see and notice progression and change in attitude to the work. The work has become more like, it's less doom and gloom and self-destruction, and now it's become more introspective and maybe even a little more hopeful, and in subtler kind of ways. I still kind of feel like I need to adhere to this kind of nihilistic, perspective that I am kind of known for, and it is definitely part of who I am, but I'm just not as bummed out by it anymore. I feel that,
did you I'll say, did you finally find your niche, and you're just this is me right here, this is my art, and this is I can see it in your art now, especially face to face, you're looking at yourself, it looks like. And
the face to face is, so I'm really interested in this bear character has always been kind of a metaphor for myself. I see myself as this bear, and that is a long story, that had a lot to do with my the kinds of my friends, the nicknames that we gave each other. I was the bear, and so when I moved to Los Angeles in 2003, I decided I wanted to find to create a character that could be a stand-in for myself. And I was very much inspired by the works of Cause or Gary Baseman, or who did a lot of anthropomorphized character art. Camille Rose Garcia is another artist that comes to mind. Death Peace Son, amazing artists, and they all did this very cartoonish kind of anthropomorphized characters, and I was very much inspired by that. And so when I started designing this character, I was researching a lot of cartoon characters that were being produced, and the one that I kept going back to was Hello Kitty. And the reason why I kept going back to Hello Kitty was for the simple fact that Hello Kitty, in its now 45 years of existence, has remained consistent. The design has not changed.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And I attribute that success to its simplistic design. It had a very distinct silhouette, and there are essentially three or four trademark characteristics. There are 2 eyes, a yellow nose, 6 whiskers, and a bow, and then the cat head silhouette.
Yeah.
And no mouth, and it's that simplicity that gives it this consistent, persistent, modern look to it. and I wanted to, and so I was like, that is great. I'm taking that. And so you can see with my character, there is just like, the silhouette of the ears,
Gotcha.
this kind of trapezoidal like face, and the two eyes and the nose.
Cool.
And even as of recently, I created, this character, this toy, the Hello Lukey, which is using the Hello Kitty silhouette, because this is like, when you look at Hello Kitty, she's always like her head cocked to the left or the right, sitting
Gotcha.
down just like this. And so this
Did
was
you-
a fun project.
Did you hand those out at DCon last year?
Yeah, we were selling them at DCon. We made them in Japan with Japanese hand poured sofubi, which is like a hand poured vinyl.
Dope.
And it has a, like, the vinyl is kind of celebrated for its artisanal like manufacturing processes.
Yeah.
And like we've got a lot of and there's also it's like a quality vinyl in general. Like it almost has an archivalness to it. Like it doesn't, I mean, it will inevitably yellow. It will inevitably fall apart, as is the nature of vinyl. But the thing is it usually lasts longer than like the stuff that's being, squeezed out in China or Vietnam or wherever vinyl toys are being produced these days.
Is the technology different now than it was 10 years ago when you were making vinyls then? Or like
the Japanese technique has been used since the 1950s. That's like, it is that old school, like where they're literally
they're traditional.
Like, yeah, it's very
They're
traditional.
still repeating that.
Yeah, like the original like Barbie legs, were produced with technique, where they were literally like hand pouring vinyl into molds, putting it in hot baths and heat baths with like insane chemicals that we can't use in the United States, and then pouring the excess vinyl out of it, and like, and it and when you use a certain amount of time, when you cure it for a certain amount of time, it gives it a certain kind of thickness to it.
Gotcha.
And what's fun is, what we are, I'm hoping will be coming out in LinkedIn, before summer, is you could do like all kinds of weird treatments in the vinyl, like you could swirl two different colors of vinyl together, and I will sneak peek something that I haven't even showed my Discord yet.
Oh boy.
I know. But like, this is one of the variations that I have coming with the coming in the future, and that is this like red and black swirly. That's all in the vinyl. That's not
That is
paint.
crazy.
Yeah, and so we
How
can
is
do
it so
that.
shiny like that?
That's just the way they finish. After they pull it, they're this beautiful, shiny, perfect.
I like how that swirl is. Oh,
yeah. Each one will be unique. Each one will be its own kind of thing.
It almost makes it each one's a 1-to-1 in a sense. Then the way it's being done.
To a certain degree, yes. And
no,
so
for sure.
like that's the beauty of this Japanese vinyl. And so
That's so cool.
I'm so
Where-
those are like, and actually, like, if I was going to do another, I already planned it out, like in my head, if I was going to do another VV project, it would probably be the Hello Lukey, which I think is cute.
That would be good.
It's a little dark because it's got like some violent violence on the hands. The blood on the hands thing was a metaphor, by the way, to me, for my addiction. Like I was a heroin addict and methamphetamine and cocaine addict, and so like I regularly saw like blood on my own hands. I would wake up in the morning with just like the blood from punching holes in my arms, to get the dopamine.
Dark times, right?
And, really dark, really dark times. And so, like I said, I've been sober now for.
Well, congratulations, man.
Definitely congrats.
Yes. Huge congrats
So,
on that.
you know,
That
but
makes
so yeah, but that's the basic history of like the character, you know, my path, the past, and why my perspective and narratives are kind of the way they are. They're you know, the
I
ghost
was always
character,
wondering about why the hands were red. So thanks,
yeah,
man.
And
I
even
didn't want to
just
really.
that sense of the way
Yeah,
that they're looking down at them too. That makes a lot. That makes a lot of sense. Like it's
yeah, you're kind of looking at your own self-destruction, and you know, or some kind of
before,
destruction,
for sure.
and being very introspective about it. But now I just kind of use it as a signature element because I think people have that's kind of what they expect of me to a certain degree, you know. So I got to give people what they want to.
you draw outside of your element. You have other art that you possibly do, like that's you
know,
do outside of this. You here right here your bears.
I try to. I've been trying to, just to like, you know, because you get bored of painting these bears after a while. But like,
No, sure. I've
you know,
been doing my job for 15 years. I mean, this 20 years.
I hear it.
Yeah, I tried doing different things, but like for some reason I like once I start painting my characters, I feel very much at home with them. They're
Right,
very,
your gravity
you know, they're
pulls
very
you back there,
comfortable.
right? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
I mean, like, I know it's what people want of me. Is one of those things that like I've gone to galleries and I've bought art before, and the art that I always end up wanting to is like that prototypical, you know, so and so's artwork. Like say like if I was buying like a Ron English painting, I can't afford that. But if I was buying a Ron English painting, I would want like that prototypical Ron English painting that like, so when I walk inside, I see it and it's like, that is that is undeniably a Ron English painting.
It's almost a
That's
grin
right.
painting. Any of his grins, really.
Yeah, his grins or his you know, fat Ronald McDonald's
Yeah,
that
the
he was
MC
doing
supersize for sure.
some of the supersize stuff,
Hilarious.
you know.
Yeah.
He's you know, like, and you know that like, yeah, he's unless he does he's exploring a narrative that really connects with me, that is outside of his like typical, like the consumerism aspect of what he does. Because I think that's what like all artists are doing. All artists are kind of like walking this weird line between self-expression and consumerism.
Yeah.
Like if you're showing your artwork in galleries, it means you're creating artwork to be purchased by, you know, collectors.
Yeah, that's fair.
And you need to like, and you know, I would love to be like, you know, one of those crazy contemporary artists who is able to switch styles on the you know, on a whim. You know, because again, like, you know, because I have set up the narrative for myself to use this character as a metaphor for myself. It's about my experience. I'm able to explore my experiences, my interests through this character.
Yeah.
And
cool. Yeah.
like, you know, whether it is like a very narrative like scenario that I'm like, where I'm painting a scene, like a sort of like story in the painting, or I'm exploring it, you know, with techniques that I'm excited by, like whether it's, you know, where I deconstruct the character through really rough, you know, brush strokes and drips and you know, stuff like that. Like,
Nice.